Hello and welcome to another StarCraft 2 co-op video. Today we'll be taking an in-depth look at the Terran air comp Dominion Battlegroup. This comp is not that strong in the early game, but gradually ramps up in power as Liberators and Battlecruisers are added. Note that sometimes the Tier 3 wave is just Marines and all Vikings or all Banshees, and I don't know how this is determined. Many people hate this comp because of the BCs, but the Banshees and Liberators are no joke either. The Banshees cloak after 12 minutes, which is not really a strength, but I suppose it's worth mentioning because that means you will need detection by then. Despite being a powerful comp, it does have a few weaknesses. First of all, it doesn't have much AoE aside from Liberators, air attacks, and Raven Seeker missiles, which can be dodged. The Tier 1 comp is just 3 Vikings, so commanders don't need to spend many resources on defense. And because this is a Terran comp, the attack waves don't come with detection until much later, so in this case Tier 5, which is in the mid to late game. Who likes fighting this comp? Artanis actually likes this comp because they don't have much AoE. Also, Vikings, Liberators, and BCs are armored, so Dragoons deal extra damage to them. Tower commanders love this comp because Liberators don't attack buildings. Everything else just flies into range and disappears. Who hates fighting this comp? Kerrigan is notoriously bad against air, and she's gonna feel the power of Banshees and BCs. Hydras are weak, and Mutas need a numbers advantage before engaging. Han and Horner don't like this comp because Vikings really hurt Galleons. Early on, you can just out-repair the damage, but later on, the Galleons might get focused by the larger number of Vikings. Let's see here. Tychus, Statman, and Dahaka don't really care about enemy comp. Zeratul also doesn't mind their lack of detection. Nova can airstrike the enemies first, but having to siege and unsiege Liberators can be annoying. Stukov P3 doesn't mind this comp, but P1 kinda does. Borazun, like Zeratul, can abuse their lack of detection, but she needs to get a lot of Corsairs, which means fewer DTs. Alarak doesn't really care that much, but Vikings can deal quite a lot of damage to the mothership. Zagara can fly Scourge into them, but that's later on. Raynor needs to waste money scanning for Banshees. Phoenix, in particular Warbringer, doesn't like the large number of air units. Abathur doesn't mind the comp itself, but hates the fact that it is Terran, and thus slows down the early game due to less biomass. As always, hard-hitting comps are much more dangerous on OE due to the early Tier 6 waves. Be prepared to face a lot of BCs. The second attack wave at 6 minutes will go directly to the right base, bypassing the ramp, so be ready for that. On lock and load, the first 2 waves will fly directly to the center lock instead of taking the ramp. The 19-minute and 25-minute waves will also fly directly to the locks. On Void Launch, the second wave will fly over the cliff instead of taking the ramp, so don't get caught out of position. On Mal Warfare, you won't deal with any BCs from the waves, thankfully. Also, keep in mind that Tier 5 waves will fly directly to Arana. This is most noticeable when they spawn near the bottom right tower. On RTK, the 14-minute wave and the waves after 20 minutes will fly over airspace. And the first wave is just 3 pitiful Vikings, so you can beat them with 12 workers. More realistically, you can just stall them with structures until your hero unit comes out. On Vermilion Problem, Tier 5 waves will fly directly to your main if they spawn in the top right. If they spawn at the bottom, they will fly directly to the mineral line of the bottom natural. No BCs on missed opportunities except for the last wave. Be careful about Liberators because they will focus down a bot once they siege. Also, Tier 5 waves will fly directly to the bots instead of taking the ground path. Now for the mutators to be aware of. The first one is Avenger. Marines just make Banshees, Liberators, and BCs stronger. And since the BCs are often the last to go down, they might end up with about 10 armor. With Just Die, BCs and Ravens will cast their spells multiple times. Long range is scary because Vikings will wreck small groups of air units with their superior range. The rest of this hard-hitting comp will also get to hit you first. Life Bleach will make the hard hitters survive much longer. And Transmutation is dangerous because the Tier 1 and 2 units are already in the middle of the Transmutation evolution list. And that's it for this video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the in-depth look. What are your experiences fighting this comp? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Thanks to all the members who are supporting me. If you would like to join, check out the link in the description. And while you're here, why don't you check out this video on Classic Mech? See you there!